It wasn't a typical Monday morning in downtown Waterville.
Katie Sharp tells us more.
Folks in downtown Waterville woke up to an underground rumbling Monday morning.
Well, I received a call around 8 a.m. from my staff that there was some smoke and some rumbling out in the front of the building. Apparently there's some central main power conduits and some transformers that are buried underground, and there must have been a faulty wire or transformer which was showing signs of smoke and was filling our basement here at Holy Cannoli with smoke and an acrid smell.
Emergency services and CMP crews arrived, noticed the smoke, and discovered carbon monoxide coming into the basement of businesses. Upon further investigation, CMP crews found that underground lines that were connected to a transformer were moving around, and out of caution, shut off power to the block.
2.5 hours later here that CMP's isolated the problem as getting the repair order in and the right parts to get it fixed. Holy Cannoli is currently up and running. We may have some temperamental power issues throughout the day, but they're reporting to me that everybody's safe and the problem's been isolated.
We're told one of the underground cables malfunctioned, causing the rumbling and smoke. There were 2 Holy Cannoli employees at the building at the time who reported feeling dizzy. After being checked out by paramedics, they were released and are said to be doing well.
And businesses on Main Street say that due to the quick response from CMP and emergency services crews, that they were able to open their doors up quickly.
Well, I was actually very impressed because Waterville had been out on a structure fire, and they had called in engines from other areas to cover their station, and those fire departments were actually the ones who responded to the call down here today, and it was just absolutely amazing to see the professionalism of these other departments able to come in and just pick up the ball and run. And CMP have a lot of great things to say. They were here very quickly, got the problem diagnosed really quickly, and restored power within 2.5 or so hours.
Incredible. The finest and the bravest showed up, including CMP. A couple-hour hiccup with no power is really nothing compared to the possibilities that could have been. So we seem to be back up and running. Most of us are.
Katie Sharp, WABI TV 5 News, Waterville.
And CMP hope to have everything repaired and power fully restored by this afternoon.